Hello, back again here with another book review, and I'm going to tell you this one right here is amazing. I am a big fan of history books, especially anything historical fiction wise that I can grab my hands on out there. And I'll tell you this, there's one lady out there, her name's Alison Weir, and she does her homework. And this goes into the whole Diana Gabaldon type of stuff, where I mean, she goes into detail and everything with what she puts out there and does. This lady's amazing. I think some of her books even made it to Starz as television series, The White Queen and things like that. You know. Anyways, the one that I'm going to be reviewing right now is one of her books called The War of the Roses by Alison Weir. I'm going to tell you, this is an amazing book. Alison Weir, is able to miraculously take the events of history, and once again, it proves the old adage true that real life can sometimes be a heck of a lot better than any fiction that you can get out there. She has pulled all of these facts and everything from these history books, and she's taken her time to fashion something into a masterpiece, and she's put it down on paper, and she's wrote it as only an expert novelist can do. To make it readable, just like you're just reading a regular story, and make it so interesting, just like it's something that's just, you know, currently happening today. And you know, everybody knows, you know, the history, you know, the War of the Roses and stuff. But you know, if you try to type it in a search engine and go to Wikipedia, you know, you kind of get bored and you can't really okay, and then this guy, Richard III, married something of the 8th, and then, but she was also the first of this country, but she was like the 8th of this country, and all these confusing things. If somebody actually wanted to research something called the War of the Roses and what actually happened back then during that time period, I mean, like I said, it gets tedious and it's hard to follow. But Alison Weir was able to actually put all of that information, take all of that information, and put it into a novel, and make it to where you can actually follow these characters like you would in a normal book, and actually retain the knowledge, and you actually learn more from her books than you would actually reading a history book, because she makes it that well. I'm telling you, there's some characters in these books that are better than anything that you've been reading. Probably, well, I mean, I would compare, like I said, to a Song of Ice and Fire series. Of course, all of those, you know, that series is based on the War of the Roses. I mean, this is the actual War of the Roses that she's writing about, and she makes it fun. I mean, these people were, I don't know if any of you people have actually read some of other of Shakespeare's works, but but I mean, you know, real life is a lot worse than anything that these fiction writers come up with. And I mean, you know, they could do a whole television series on this Richard III guy. I mean, that guy was whoo, yeah. I mean, to tell you, he was out there. But I mean, you could do it. You'd have to put it on Showtime, I'll tell you that. But you're reading some of these characters that are not. I mean, these are real life characters here. I mean, you know, Longshanks and you know, things like that, and in the history books. And you're familiar with him from you know, the movie Braveheart, obviously. But I mean, all these, you know, Alison Weir. Pardon me. I mean, Alison Weir does so good a job about the heraldry and coat of arms and the pageantry that goes into England, and their you know, their royal houses and everything, and she goes into great detail about the War of the Roses and how, you know, the Lancasters and the and them eventually developed into what you all would probably be familiar with, the Tudors and and the, you know, and then the Stuarts, and then you know, all down the line. Sorry, I need a little bit more coffee. But I mean, yeah, you get the idea over in history, and of course now, I mean, it's more of a but it fascinates me, especially on my side of the family. On my father's side, I'm you know, Norwegian, and then on my mother's side, I'm Clan McFarlane. I'm Scottish, and I'm sprinkled blissfully on both sides with Native American ancestry, Cherokee. So I mean, all of this is fascinating to me, and to just even think of the imagery that she puts in here of feudal England and at this time, and some of the most, I guarantee you, some of the most gorgeous places in the world. Some castles and scenery and lush green atmospheres that you, gardens that you wouldn't believe are located in places like Scotland and Ireland and you know, the island at Wales, and from where my family came from, the Merrills over there at Cornwall. We were given land in Cornwall after coming over with William the Conqueror to help seize the throne. That was given to us, you know, Norman conquest and everything. Of course, you can tell I've done a little bit of genealogy.com. But you understand what I'm saying. But to most people, to the average people, I mean, they really don't want to go back and you know, ancestry.com, and there's lots of people that's a hobby, but for most people they don't. But I mean, this. And she puts it down into a book that is a magnificent story. And like I said, the characters in this book just come to life once again, and they're not just fictional characters. That's what's so cool, is these guys are just so intense. And what's even better is that they're real people. They were really real life human beings that existed. I mean, you can type their names in on a search engine, and you can go and you can figure out what really happened to them, or you can read it in this book in a condensed form, in a fun form, like Alison Weir makes it out to be. And but I guarantee, I mean, like I said, she's got this one, The War of the Roses, which I think everyone. Anybody that's a big fan that watches Game of Thrones right now, I'm gonna tell you, if you wanna see where a lot of that stuff comes from, you ask Mr. Martin himself. It comes from the actual real life War of the Roses that occurred, and excuse me. And like I tell you. You go ahead. I recommend this book wholeheartedly. She's got another book, you know, the Princes of the Tower, and you know, one that came before that, obviously, that was turned into the Stars television show, The White Queen, that debuted, I believe it was last September. That was so great. And that was intended to be just a one season deal, you know. But I recommend Alison Weir. Go look her up. It's also, oh yes, also if you will go to Amazon and type in Alison Weir, get to the War of the Roses, it will show her other books. And for the first time, and it's never been done, this is the first time ever. It's always been either a hard to find book or you'd have to get. This is a trade paperback that I've got, but they've got paperback, and I don't think that the hardcover is available anymore. This book here that I have is now available on Amazon.com for your Kindle Fire, or like I like to use, because I'm always at my computer, and the Kindle on PC that you can download right there on your for your laptop or home computer. If you'll go to Amazon, I think it's free. Why not? If you've already got a Kindle, and I've already paid the money for my Kindle, which I have, yeah, then I can go ahead and have my version of it on my computer for free. Wow, why not do that? That's stupid to not do that. But anyways, like I said, this is available for Kindle download. I think this was like maybe $5 or $6. $5 or $6, and this is priceless. This is awesome, man. This is freaking cool. So go to Amazon and get this, and look it up. Alison with one L, Alison Weir, Weir. Let's see here, got it. And type that sucker in, type that puppy in, and I mean download it. Download the Kindle on PC for whatever version of computer you've got. And get that baby on there, and just start scrolling that sucker down and start listening and start reading that thing. I highly recommend it. It is amazing. It's coming straight to you. You're welcome, and I think you're really going to like it, especially you history buffs out there like me. If you like the Song of Ice and Fire and all that, lord and ladies, and you know, telling you what's going to happen, and then all the people on the other land that, you know, that doesn't have any say, that's not a highborn, and they're just lowborn and have to do what the rest of us have to do out there, just like that goes on in the Song of Ice and Fire series. Then you're going to love this. You're going to love it, especially if you're a Diana Gabaldon fan, and you know, the Outlander series. This series you're going to love too. Alison Weir is great. So, like I said, check it out, and I think you'll like it.